just had such a cool conversation with Elizabeth Webb. She is one of the founding members of GoBundance Women, and I was so excited to finally get some time with her. She's known as the Practical Priestess, a positive psychology expert, best-selling author, and master breakthrough coach with over 20 years of experience guiding executives, founders, creatives, and public figures. She's been featured in the New York Times, ABC, 2020, and more. She helps high achievers reconnect with their intuition, confidence, and purpose. I loved digging into that. Through her debut book, Made for Magic, she inspires people to break free from toxic toleration, awaken their inner genius, and create lasting impact in both their life and their work. Here's Elizabeth Webb. Hello and welcome to the Power Up Your Life podcast. I'm Mandy McAllister and I get to fly solo today with my girl, Elizabeth Webb. Elizabeth, how are you?
Fabulous. Happy to be
I
here.
love You look very angelic and an OG of GoBundance Women. Power Up Your Life is powered by GoBundance Women. My pleasure to get to spend a little bit of time here with you. So before we kick things off and really dig into the things that you're doing, why don't you tell me a little bit about your background?
Sure. So today I live in Austin, Texas. I am a brand new author. That's been my passion project. And the book has been very impactful so far. So that's what I'm doing right now. But as a day job, if you will, that's not really a job because it's my own thing. I'm guiding executives and I'm helping them around human behavior. I'm really training my executives in human behavior and how to retain top talent by understanding the way their employees work, what motivates them, and really create peace, harmony amongst their team, which has them making more money. And we all like more money, right? Money is magic too. So that is what I'm doing today. And I've been in the self development world now for full time for over 20 years. And I was a coach before anybody knew what that was. Now it's like, throw a stone and you'll hit three, right? And that's no disrespect to my industry, but that's real. Um, so before the coaching world was really a household understood career, I was doing it. And it was a bit controversial at that time, yet I believed in it. Like my mom is a traditional therapist, and I understood the value of that. And I also realized I don't want to be in the business of being like the sacred venting place. And that has so much value. I want to be helping people that are stuck, not people who are in deep crisis, but people who are at a place of neutrality or stuckness, thrive and break through levels. And I became extremely interested in human behavior and what makes us tick. I've taken every course under the sun and trained in many different modalities that make people thrive. And so that's the nerdy side, is like obsessed with psychology and how do we through these levels and become different and better versions. And that's been what my career has been all about as well. And the book is a different thing we can talk about as well.
You're talking about being stuck. One thing that really matters to me as an entrepreneur and the things that are actionable that we want our audiences to take with them is when you're an entrepreneur, there's so much managing of anxiety and so much managing of stress. And I know you have experienced it, and you've got this unique position that you have clients who you help get unstuck too. So talk to me about the patterns and some kind of actionable advice that would help me or our listeners get through being stuck.
Absolutely. So the first things are so basic, but it's actually doing it, right? So movement in our body is movement in our life. And when we are moving every day, that really helps get emotionally unstuck or reach our next levels. So, one of the things that I do, I'm right now on day 39 of a 40-day movement challenge. I move every day, even if I've got debilitating cramps, which happens once in a while, even if I'm sick, I'm usually not, but I'll still get up and like walk down the block, walk back or get on my yoga mat, do a little bit of cat cow just to commit to I am she who moves. I am a woman of movement. I move my physical body and there's movement in my life. So that's a big one. And we all know that we've heard it, but it's actually doing it. And when it comes to willpower, it's actually easier to do something every day than it is to do something sometimes, than it is to do
Mm,
something 3 times a week or 4 times a week or 5 times a week. If you say, I move every day, there's nothing to negotiate. It's not like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. It's like, no, I move every day. Oh, I moved yesterday,
yeah.
so I don't have it's so movement, 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 sunlight, 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 and also telling the
Mm,
truth to yourself and to safe, supportive sources, whether that is friends, that not all friends, friends who are deeply validating and supportive and safe in the way that they communicate with you, saying, not I am stuck, because we don't cast spells
right.
like that over ourselves with I am statements, but I am feeling stuck right now. I'm feeling stuck right now. And sharing, like, this feels frustrating. This feels sad. This feels like I've lost purpose right now. I feel like I've lost my way, or I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel, or this is feeling like the stress and the pain of this is outweighing the pleasure, which sometimes
Mm,
happens in the entrepreneurial journey. So let's just
oh,
own
yeah.
that happens for all of us. The is it worth it question comes up. It's the movement, it's the sunlight, it's the telling the truth to yourself and safe sources, and those three things right there will start to crack open the wall of stuckness, and little beams of sunlight will start coming through of like, oh, what's another way to look at this? Or
Right.
am I being called to rest and pause? No one says that really, right? Am I being called to rest and pause and take a sacred pause? Or am I being called to reinvent, or am I being called to double down and be more resilient on this current path?
Mm, I
These
love
are
that.
sacred questions to ask.
Yeah, the integrity with yourself is everything. I always say that when you got a problem, the more truth you can put to that problem, the easier it is to solve, right? I
Stop
love how
lying.
that
Yeah,
lines
stop
up
lying.
completely.
Oh, it's not
Yeah.
that
I
bad. Or the fake smile over the pain. Please just, the more we can just cut that, the
mm.
quicker we'll get to the solutions. Tell the truth.
So the call to pause thing, that hit me in a really special way because
Yeah.
I mean, I have found sometimes in my entrepreneurial journey that I have been so rewarded, so patted on the head for whatever output and the little sprints that turn into long sprints. And the whenever there comes a time for a pause, it feels like I'm doing something wrong, or that this is the some of
Ooh.
the work that I'm currently doing. For the people who have a hard time relaxing or settling down or taking that sacred pause, what's some actionable stuff around that?
Wow, what a deep question. So, what hits me about this is this really speaks to what we have been celebrated for and what we celebrate about ourselves.
Mm,
So, if our identity and the way that we feel of value in the world is primarily the results that we're producing, then we will feel guilty when we're not producing results. And there needs to be a moment of owning that and looking at that. And there needs to be a moment or a choice that's very individual for each woman that goes, okay, let's fast forward to deathbed moment. Something not all of us think about, super unpleasant. You're taking your last breath. Are you going to wish you worked harder?
mhm.
Or are you going to say, God, I wish I wasn't so hard on myself. I wish I watched the sunset, even if it was inconvenient. I wish I turned off my phone and like was present at the dinner table and really fully gave my presence to the people around me. I wish I danced more. I wish I slept in and felt delicious and valuable doing that.
Yeah,
So,
it's an identity thing for sure. That is a thing in the entrepreneurial journey that I think about a lot too, especially for us entrepreneurs that, I came from medical device sales and then went into buying apartment buildings. And that is we have members of GoBundance who were physicians and now they're short-term rental hosts, right?
yeah,
Like that is a very different identity. And I'm fairly certain that many of your clients might have made similar transitions. Tell me a little bit about that identity shift and ways that you coach people through making it.
sure. So, I feel like remembering that we are a soul that's having a human experience is huge. And creating a relationship with this part of ourselves that's infinite and creating that as your identity over your age, your personality, the way you look, what you do for a living, what marks you hit, the number you have in the bank, how respected you are for your accomplishments. All of that is beautiful. I love it. I do it. I'm a part of it. I'm not saying overcorrect into this profane feminine way of being where we don't create impact. Like, no to that. No, thank you. But while we're being these women of impact, don't ever think that your identity is your results. Because what about when you retire? If you
Right.
choose to retire, like, what if you decide to take a sabbatical? Is your existence on the planet worthless? Is having fun and just existing and having pleasure, joy, and ease in your life, are you still a worthy participant on the planet?
Hmm.
Like, if we think of those things as a waste of time or invaluable, or that we're not valuable unless we're working hard and producing results, it really creates this hamster wheel of I am valuable if I'm producing results. That's, well, what about if you had a bad month? Are you less valuable? Like, you want to be that mean to yourself and subject to that? Your self-esteem is up if your numbers are up. Like, we have to untether from that identity and go, here, heart, soul, I am an infinite being. And in this lifetime, I am a blonde woman named Elizabeth that mentors executives. I am a daughter. I am these things, I'm I inspire some people. I'm an author. None of that is really who I am. It's all fleeting.
Right.
But my
I
soul
love
is
that.
infinite, and I nurture that relationship because it can never be taken from me, no matter what career choice I make.
I think that's so important to dial back, and it's a very deep kind of response and question, really, because whenever you are an executive, whenever you are an entrepreneur that's trying to scale to 8, 9, 10 figures, it all starts at
Mm,
home. The work on you, you can never scale your net worth past your self worth. I so firmly believe that. In the world of being an entrepreneur, so yours and the executives that you work with, like being an entrepreneur in general is an unconventional thing. You're not really following the path that most people choose to follow. Tell me
no.
a little bit about an unconventional strategy or unconventional idea that most people think is completely false that you are so certain about.
Ooh, okay. I want to make sure I understand the question. I don't think so are you saying what is a belief system that most people believe that I think is false?
Correct. Common knowledge that you disagree with.
Mm, gosh, wow. I disagree that we always need to be healing.
Hmm.
That's one thing that's a shadow side, that's an underbelly side of my industry is we're always healing. There's always another layer, always another coach, always another program. And I really feel like having fun joy, pleasure, and rest as core values is huge, and we need to normalize it. We must
Mm,
normalize it, right? So it's like this childlike way of being where like, ugh, she's not up to much. Or is that someone who has true mastery? Maybe she's producing like a badass, but she knows how to take that hat off and go, it's time to be present. It's time to not have a care in the world. If I'm out and about and I see a better way that something could be done, guess what? I say nothing. I let it go. I'm not producing, and just really having the mastery over switching gears. So, yeah, I guess the belief that I'm against is like you always need to be healing, you always need to be working on yourself. What about enjoying being alive?
mm.
These pauses of just savoring life, having as much positive fun as possible and stacking your life with that is so deeply valuable. And when we fast forward to that one day where there's a last breath, you're not going to regret that. If it sounds fluffy, I ask you to examine that. If you're like, oh, fluffy, no, it's not. Fun, joy, and pleasure, deathbed moment, she is going to
Yeah.
feel so happy you did that for yourself.
Yeah, I think it's this idea of seasonality, right? In multifamily investing, that we are in a season where stuff has been hard, right? And I think that in and everything, there are cycles, there are seasons, and the ability to, what I'm hearing you say is the ability to recognize when you're in a season where growth is needed, then you
Yes,
should grow. When you're in a season where rest is needed, you need to rest. And
yes.
it's, how do you figure out you insofar as you're able to recognize those seasons? One thing in reading about you before this, the idea of genuine intuition, tapping into what you know. Tell me a little bit the difference. How do I differentiate? What are some actionable things around differentiating between genuine intuition and fear-based decision making?
Oh, I love this question so much. So, whenever you get a rush that feels like intuition, right? It's like, ooh, it could be like, I've been here before. It could be like, don't go that way. Or, uh-oh, I feel scared. I would say pause, put one hand on your heart, the other hand on your womb, close your eyes, and say to yourself, is this a message that's coming from my highest self right now? Is this
Mm,
a message that's coming from God or my highest self right now? And if you're not sure, ask again, be in the quiet, and detach from any being right.
mm,
So pause, ask. You will generally feel guided. You'll be like, oh, yep, no, this is a message, or no, it just feels scary. Well, if it just feels scary, it probably reminds you of something in a bad way, which doesn't mean you shouldn't proceed. But that
right.
could be an upper limit you're about to hit, and going through that door is the right thing. So I would say pause and ask sacredly, pause, sacredly ask. Also, the more we can clear trauma,
Mm,
the more our intuition becomes clear and we know the difference between a trauma response and an intuitive hit. So I've done my own fair share of this. I've had a huge helping of trauma in this lifetime, and I've done a lot to clear it out. I highlight a lot of these modalities in my book when I talk about intuition. So I've done EMDR, I've done EFT tapping, um, but the brain spotting and the things that actually go into the trauma in the brain and break it up so that we're not run by it, I really recommend it.
Tell me more about this book.
Oh, sure. Yes. Okay. This is the book. It's called Made for Magic. And this is a book that I really wrote from my soul as a soul call. And it's entertaining, it's full of tangible, actionable things that women can do to have a life that is full of responsibility, that's also full of joy and magic and replenishment. And I use the word magic. Magic is about life force and possibility. That's what magic really is in this definition, right? So, how do we create a life that is life giving to
Mm,
us?
right.
And
Because
the
you only get
beautiful
one.
choice that is. And how do you do it?
Exactly.
hmm
Yeah, I love that. You know, the awakening your inner genius that you talk about, what does that truly look like in action? So not just like the inspiration, not just the 30,000-foot view. What does that
hmm
look like in terms of daily practice?
Awakening your inner genius.
Yeah.
Okay. So, awakening your inner genius is really the process of tapping into the part of you that's your dharma and your reason. I don't want to say for existing, but almost like there's each soul is here to really create something very special, to bring a very special frequency to this planet. And the more we can tap into that, the more we can really own and be in action in our inner genius in the world. And what this looks like, so much of it is really taking on that people are going to find your inner genius brilliant and controversial. And it's going to make waves. If you're doing it right, your inner genius, not everybody's going to like it because it's going to be bold and potent and original and yours. So, anything you can do to untether from being
Mm,
liked and that being the primary thing,
mm.
that will help you awaken your inner genius. This is a big switch I've done in my own life. When my primary commitment was being liked, guess what I was creating that was original? Not much.
Nothing. Yeah.
No.
They're not, they can't be present at the same time to be liked by everyone and live your
Yeah,
truest
you
self. Man, Elizabeth, this
you have
has just
bullshit.
been Oh, it's been so incredible. I've written down a couple of things that you've said that hit me particularly well. Is this message coming from my highest self? So when something big happens, can you take that sacred pause and really try to use it as data? Because the
Mhm.
learning how to recognize intuition, that is a skill that you are not born with, right? And I love this idea of that priming question to help me focus that data and store it and be able to use it in a better way, and that
Mhm.
movement in my body is movement in my life. So feeling unstuck, making that little commitment to moving every single day. That's you got me ready for a movement challenge.
40
So one
days.
thing,
Do 40 days. Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to program my phone as soon as we're done here. One thing we love to ask all of our members of GoBundance Women and all of our guests here is, we want to serve you. You've now served us and our audience with all these ideas and actionable things. So, what is an introduction? What is a resource? What is something that a listener or I could help you with that would change the ballgame for what you're working on?
Oh, wow. What a beautiful, generous question. Um, what what would really move my heart and soul is buying the book, not because I need another book sale, because I mean, that would be nice, but because I want you to actually read it. I had a woman just, gosh, that was 2 days ago. She came up to me at a party and she was like, I don't want to interrupt. I was talking to someone else. She was like, I read your book. It changed my life. And I bought 4 copies for girlfriends. Thank you so much. This book deserves to be spread to all the women that I know. And I was like, I
Yeah.
want women reading this book. It will speak hope over you. It will give you all the tools you'd want your daughter to have. Please
Uh,
read it, enjoy it, and love it. And if you read it, enjoy it, and love it, write me a review.
I love it.
I get so
I
turned
love it.
on by reviews. I read all
I
of them
love
like
it.
3 times. I'm obsessed.
I
So,
love it. So Made for Magic, we will make sure that that link makes it to the show notes. Elizabeth, you are just tremendous. How can people get a hold of you?
sure. So, go to madeformagicbook.com, and you can get the book through there if you want. It's an Amazon link. It's on Amazon. But also, if you want to see if the book is your style, your cup of tea, I'll give you the first chapter for free. It's on that page. And that will also help us stay in touch. And you'll get my love beam, little love beams to your inbox, which is always juicy, entertaining, and helpful. I send out articles about once every 2 weeks, and it's my pleasure to share my light with you. I'm honored to have the opportunity.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Power Up Your Life podcast. If you loved this episode, if you know someone who needs more magic in their life, that needs that sacred pause, make sure you're sharing this episode with them. And just like Elizabeth, if you love what you're listening to, it really helps us a lot if you give us a 5-star review so we can
Nice
find new
to
listeners.
meet
Yes, I love it. So don't forget to check out Power Up Your Life now if you're looking to scale up your business, and GoBundance Women if you're looking for a tribe of incredible women. We do lots of free stuff. We do many things that could benefit anyone who's listening. So we will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us, Elizabeth.
you. Bye.